So this is the system setup that you're going to need to do in the Professional Plus edition of Get Booked Up. If you come to the setup menu at the top, and we'll find in there the system setup, and then this is a series of tabs that we need to work through to set the basics up in the system before you start. And the first one it opens up at is numbering, and that's the numbering sequence that's used within the Get Booked Up software. So we've got last quote number. So if you've got a pre-printed notepad, so a pre-printed quote pad that's got existing numbers on, you can put your last quote number in here and the system will carry on from there. Your last invoice number, again if you've got invoice pad, you can put your last invoice number in there. The last job number as well, if you work job cards, invoices separately. And then also you can tell the system whether or not to auto number them on the quotes or auto number the invoices. The job numbers are always automatic in the system. That's just to maintain some of the integrity in the system. But if you want, you can manually input quotes numbers and invoice numbers on each quote or invoice that you add to the system. So that's numbering. The next one along is domestic options. You need to have a look in here. The top one there is allow the amendment of the last job date details. If you tick that box, on the key information section at the top of the client record, you'll see there's last job date in there. And if you put a tick in here, that allows you to access that and manually enter that information. The next one down is manual pricing. The system can obviously calculate prices automatically from the pricing table that you put in, or calculate prices. You can calculate prices manually, and you can flick between the two, but this sets the default in the quotation system. So if you put a tick in this box, the system will default to you putting the prices in manually in the quotations. If you untick the box, it'll default to using the pricing table to calculate the prices from the sizes that you've put in. You can tell the system whether or not you require a family name, so that just stops you moving out of that front client record until you've got a family name in there. That stops you perhaps addressing letters to Dear Alison rather than perhaps Dear Alison Wood or something like that. So that's require or not the family name in the client's record. The only other one that's applicable in the domestic options here is the unit of length. We allow you to determine whether your pricing is determined in meters, yards or feet. Now whichever of those you choose, that's how you'll set your pricing table up, and then within the client's record on the job details section you can record the quantities in either meters, yards or feet, and the system will automatically convert that back to whatever your default is. So the next tab we've got along is the VAT. So basically what you need to do is make sure that this is set up in here and that the VAT rate in the top box there is the current VAT rate that's applicable. In here also we allow you to edit the VAT rate for coming changes. So the next VAT rate box here, you will put the new VAT rate before it's due, and then in the next VAT rate due date box you would select the date there that the next VAT rate is due. So that's just something that allows you to make sure that you comply with the VAT. Obviously on the date that it changes over, the system will split the VAT element in the job according to the correct VAT rate at the time. The other thing that's part of your system setup in here is the emails. If you want to use the easy email facility, you're going to need to come in here and set this up. Your SMTP server name, if you have a look through here, if you have a word with your ISP provider, internet service provider, look on your existing email program, and that'll show you what's in there and the information that you need to enter in there. You can do a test email as well, and there's some settings at the bottom there that are related to the easy email that we do. We recommend that you just leave those as they are, and that's about sending small batches out at regular intervals to avoid looking like you're spamming and sending lots of email out. The only other one we need to look at in there now is map web address, and that's for where the system looks when you click the map button. Does it take you to Google or does it take you to Street Maps? So if you've got a preference for either of those, make sure you just tick that, and it'll put the correct address in there, and you can actually test that if you want to, and it'll take you to a test address that's in the system. So that's it. That's the system setup. Simple and straightforward. Just work through those and you're one step nearer.